Hey guys, welcome back to my channel over here. This is Daniel with my lovely gentleman here from Flow State. His name's Taylor. Today we're going to talk about how to take control of your life and to stop playing the victim. And I'm really heated up about this topic because I've been running into a lot of people who don't believe that they have full 100% control over their reality. And I want to talk a little bit about that and how to really tangibly take control over your reality and what that looks like, and talk about what it's like within this concept to be the victim or to play the victim, meaning, you think that you're not in 100% control and you're subjected to life and the universe and people around you. And so I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about how to take control. Okay. So my first thing I wrote down is know that you're in control, right? And to know you're in control is to know that you're taking full 100% responsibility of your decisions, your actions, how you let people talk to you, what you accept, what you say yes to, what you say no to. And I think this is really difficult being young, especially when you're still under parental control. We learn from parents that we are to be spoken to be controlled, even until like you're in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe 50s. There's a lot of people out there that have a family structure where it starts early on, where the parents are not guiding you. They're not your shepherd. They're not your mentor. They're not your supporter. They're just the authoritative figures that are telling you what to do. They don't care about your passions or whatever. And this can be anybody. This can be a grandma. This can be your friends. This can be anybody. But people somehow learn really early on, most people, they learn early on that, you have to listen to people. You have to be accepted by people. You have to say yes to them or no to others, right? So there's a lot of confusing messages in early adulthood and when you're a kid, right? That when most parents out there go with the I know what's best mentality, when parents don't know what's best for you unless they really sit down with you and help you understand what your mission and vision is, what your life could look like going forward based off of who you are, right? A lot of people forced into education, a lot of people forced into situations that they don't want to be in, right? So know
Or
that you're
don't know why they're doing that.
yeah, they don't know why. They're just, oh, I'm going to be a doctor. I don't know why though. But that's not your purpose if it's not calling to you. So my first thing is know you're in control 100%. Know that you can say yes or no to anybody. You can shut out anybody out of your life. It's your life. You should be happy, and you shouldn't take any excuses if you don't think you should. If it's important, you don't take excuses, right? But if they're your parents, right? A lot of people will say, but they're my parents. Who gives a fuck, right? Who cares? If they're not in the purpose of, if they're not in the well-being of for you and for what you want for your life, and they're trying to vicariously live through you by telling you what to do because they didn't accomplish it or they just want to see what's best for you. If they truly want to see what's best for you, then they're going to encourage you to go the direction that you want to go into, whether it makes $1 a year or $5 or $10,000 a year. Your passions are your passions, and if you don't know what they are, they should be on board with helping you discover that. Right? It's the same with it's the same with teachers and professors. Right? They're really feeding you their interests. So you got to be careful throughout your life who you're listening to. Very important. My second thing here is filter out what doesn't fit your life, right? And so this is the concept of great. Like now I'm in control and I have all this mixed stuff of things I want and I don't want, right? I'm going down this path, but I'm getting a lot of resistance from these people, or I have to go through this. It's all about filtering out what works and what doesn't for the life that you want. You may have to go through some uncomfortable situations because of what you want. Maybe you have to move it to another state, or maybe you have to stop talking to a relative. It could be a number of different things, or maybe you have to stop being friends with somebody because they keep bringing you down. The point is you have to filter out things in your life, not just people, but filter out things and filter things in, let things in order for you to accomplish what you want for your life. That's what taking control is. The third thing I have here is learning how to say yes to yourself and no to others. It's the biggest issue that most people have. is the fear of not being accepted or wanted or fitting in. Saying yes to you is actually saying yes to other people that are actually like you. So it's kind of like a fallacy. We say to ourselves, oh, if I say no to my parents, then nobody, then what does that mean for me? If I say no to my parents, what kind of person am I? Right? It's not about how people respond to your no. It's about respecting yourself and giving yourself that 100% control. It's about saying to yourself, right? I'm saying no to this person because it doesn't feed my interest for what I want, what's going to make me happy. And you can always say, no, that's not going to make me happy, or no, that decision is not going to make me happy. Give yourself power by saying no and giving to your 100%. If you say yes to someone else and you know deep down that it doesn't fit your interests, then you just took 1 point off of that 100%. And over time, what happens is all these no's add up to like 50%, 40% in control. And then you wonder why you're not happy and why you can't see past the day to day. It's because you're saying yes to too many people and not saying no enough to them. You have to say yes to you. You have to say no more to people than the yeses to yourself. That's the ratio. As long as you're saying no more to others and yes to yourself more, you're in the right direction. And the fourth thing I already talked about was adopt your 100%. So that's all I really have to say about those things. And putting a side note on the victim, right? My point about playing the victim, it's a mindset. It's about limiting beliefs. It's about not believing that you could.
You kind of glitched up. Hey, Dan, you're glitching.
Yeah. I'm expecting to fix it. Is it better now?
A little bit. Still kind of fuzzy.
Okay. Over here. Well, I'm just gonna...
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess he's coming back. Well, fuck. I just completely lost train of thought. So yeah, about the family stuff that he mentioned. You gotta recognize relationships are a weird thing. That have a lot of, they're just undefined. They're fluids, sort of. And the closer a relationship is, the weirder they are. The weirder it is, the harder to define it is. But in families, a lot.
There?
Family members feel entitled to have.
Wait. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, cool. I didn't get that. I didn't get what you were saying.
Okay.
Now I'm in.
So I just picked up on the first one about families and how your parents might. I think you're absolutely right. I think it is more uncommon. I think it's rare for parents to help guide their kids in their own direction and push them off. I think it's much more common for parents to treat kids as sort of a sub-assembly of themselves, and not out of spite or ill intention or anything necessarily bad. Just kind of that's how their parents treated them, and blah blah blah. Just culturally. What's the feedback? Is
that me?
That was you, yeah. But yeah, and so I guess I would caution people not to look at it as an adversarial thing or necessarily a mean thing that's being done to them by their parents or their family, but to recognize that those dynamics do for sure exist. They're the rule more than the exception, and that you will have to make an intentional effort to kind of dislodge yourself from those hierarchies or networks from that position and kind of go your own route, because you, like you said, from the minute we're born, you got teachers, parents, other older relatives, fucking scout masters, coaches, the crossing guard, everybody is telling you what to do or how to do this or that or whatever. And so a lot of people grow up or kind of develop a yes man mentality that sells their own abilities and desires really short, and in favor of keeping the peace, not stirring up shit, not breaking the, not getting in trouble. That was never that was never an issue that I struggled with. I went quite the other way and said, fuck it all. Ask for forgiveness later, not permission now. But that is something I see a lot. So I think that's a really good point. I don't remember the other two. Did you write those down on a notepad or on a document? Can you paste them in the private chat or the public chat?
Yeah, I'll post them in the public.
You did get worked up about this.
I did.
Right before we got on air, he was just grinding
it. And I hope
your thoughts were clearly articulated. Like, you hit those 3 points on a pretty good roll. I don't know. I don't think linguistically. I don't think in words. So I'd be ready to go. And then I'd get halfway through the first one and be like, oh, fuck, where was I? Chocolate milk. Filter out what you do and don't want. Yeah, that's the same concept as sort of fits right in with the family thing. Say no to people more than
you. And so I think what gets me really, really fueled about this idea is that people don't realize how close they are to like getting everything that they want. People have, like, I was talking to somebody, they're like, well, yeah, like I'm going to school, my parents are paying for my apartment, like all this stuff, right? And I'm like, I'm here and I'm just like, dude, I'm like, did you know, like, you're just so close to like doing everything that you want? Like, if you really feel this confined and this restricted, right? Ditch school, leave your apartment that your parents are paying for, just pay for it yourself, get a job, like hustle, do what you have to do to what makes you happy. If I was being controlled right now by parents, and this is just one example, I'm being controlled by parents, they're telling me to do this, that, and my passion is like art or something else, and if I'm really serious about doing something else, like, I'm going to leave. I'm going to jump out the window to do what I want. Hopefully I'll land on like, something soft, but like, people don't realize that they can make, they're just a couple of no's away from realizing that they're in control and that they have power, right?
All you got to do is break out of that mindset the first time. And then, speaking of jumping out of windows, I had a fire escape ladder in my room when I was growing up as a kid. That got removed. That got removed when I was 13. Yeah, you'll start jumping out of windows. It's I don't know. And I think part of that goes back to how kind of cushy and provided for our modern Western first world lives are, is that a lot of people live in, going to college and living in the paid for apartment. Like, people don't know that they can do shit. They haven't tested themselves. They haven't proven themselves to themselves. I think there's no worse tragedy than a grown ass man who's been given money, a trust fund baby. You got a 50-year-old trust fund baby who's never had to do anything for himself, and that's an insecure. He hasn't proven himself to himself. So I think that just demonstrating to yourself that you are competent and you can figure shit out and you can survive and if you fuck up, which you will, you can survive the fuck up too. People are durable. You'll bounce.
Yeah. And I understand, like, I understand, like, we talked about this the other day, me and you, there are cultures, right, where the family members are they domineer over your life, right? You have parents, you have like a very patriarchal, matriarchal, family system where like everybody wants you to be on board, right? And so for you to say no, it's like you're being excommunicated, right? And I know a couple of people like this. I know a couple of people like that, but guess what? You're better off, right? It's better to leave the cult than to stay within it being upset, right?
It is. If they don't, if the cult doesn't like you or want anything to do with you as an autonomous person, guess what? That wasn't a relationship built on caring.
What's important?
There's a power structure.
Yeah, power structures are not authentic. What's authentic is, hey, Johnny, I realize that, this is your path and it's not conventional, or it's not conventional to what I know or what other people know, right? That's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay to be non-conventional. And I don't know, that's part of the issue, right? Is, people have to be on board with you, right? Putting aside family, right? Like putting aside people in general. Like your life is your life. And once people start to try and control that, that's when you have to say, hey, whoa, slow down there. Like, I understand you care for my well-being, but you're overstepping your boundary, right? And that's another issue that people don't have, is that when they grow up, they haven't learned clear boundaries, right? They're just, they're just trampled over by people that think they know better. And those people don't have good boundaries either, because they were taught how to, that boundaries are meant to be broken through, right? Not to be respected, right? Too many people in my life, try to break through those boundaries, and I'm just like, hey, you can't walk on this area. This is my area, right?
Yeah. I agree with everything you're saying. I personally would soften the wording that you're using around family, because at the end of the day, like, yes, everything you're saying is absolutely true. However, also, don't sell short the fact that family is who you can count on a lot of times. Well, I mean, a lot of times they're just really shitty people, but also a lot of times they're the most likely source of long-term, reliable support network, whatever.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I'm not saying there's no happy medium. Like, definitely go for the happy medium. Like, hey, family members, like, I want you to be on board with what I'm doing in life and whatever, all my decisions. But at the same time, I respect your decisions as well. But it's about respectability at that point, right? Like, if your family truly loves you and trusts you and is loyal to you, they're not going to tell you what to do. They're going to tell you what might be in your best interests, or maybe it's something that directly affects the family. Then you should think about your actions, right? Like, okay, where are my values, right? Should I do this because I want to, or should I do this? It's about control. We're not talking about, getting away from family here, but it's about controlling your life. You can still have 100% control of your life and navigate within, a family structure. That's not what I'm saying, but it has to be healthy for you. It has to be
you need to make your own mistakes at some point.
Yeah.
Part of becoming an adult is that you begin making your own mistakes and suffering the consequences of them for yourself. So mom doesn't get to tell you what to do. Mom's also not going to save you. That is right. that mindset.
Like, most people forget, once people are done controlling you and then they back off, that's when the issues really start to come in for these people, right? They're like, I've been told what to do for 30 years of my life. Now I don't know what to do. Right? Like, mom and dad has always told me what to do. They've always pushed through my boundaries to do everything, right? To make the decisions for me. Now, what decisions do I make? Like, I don't know where to go, right? Like, and then you have a lot of people of all ages, like, it's not just millennials. It's everybody's been in this position, or most people, where they just don't know what to do at a certain point because people back off. They go, okay, cool, you're old enough to my subjective idea, and now you're out of the nest, or now that you should be doing things on your own. everybody's got their different perception of what that looks like.
Yeah, right? I mean, you live 2 decades never having to figure out what you're going to do next. It's determined for you. You get up, you go to school, you go to the next school, and then maybe you go to college or whatever. But for the whole first quarter of your life, you don't think about that shit at all. And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay.
Yeah. You know what? Without people helping you obtain a vision or understand what your vision is, what your path is, how to develop your path, you know, you're going to end up in the day-to-day, and you're going to end up really unsatisfied with life, and you may get to the depression or the depressive state, and it's because, you know, you haven't learned to make your own decisions. You don't feel okay making your own decisions, so you lean on other people making decisions for you, and you create a behavior cycle of everything that's not control, right? And so, but if you curate your skill of, you know, taking control, and you learn to make decisions, and that you think and you feel that it's okay to say no to people, and know that it's okay to say no to people, and you learn to say yes to yourself, you're gonna have a way better life worth living. True facts.
True facts.
So we're at 21 minutes. So did you have anything else worth of saying before we end the?
I do not have anything else.
Okay. Well, this has been fun. It was heated. I'm glad everybody tuned in. If you want me to see, if you want to see more videos about this topic, just let me know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and like. I hope you benefited this video, whoever you may be, and we'll see you next time. Take care.